Uprising, an act or instance of rising up. So let's get started. Here I start by using the symmetry tool on a new layer to trace out the symmetrical pose. Step 1. Sketching. You can see me trace the silhouette. Just try to get the general shape and form of the subject. See how loosely I'm just tracing out the edges. Don't overdo it, just the main edges. Same with the hair. You don't need to be precise here. Remember, you want to capture the emotions, not the actual form. Same goes with the wolves. Tracing the main outline and the features so it can be recognized. Same here, try to be loose. To just trace the actual form. And if you feel something's not right, just select and transform, no hard rules. Duplicate the wolf and put them into a group, so you can use a group mask to mask out the parts. Same goes with the flower. Since I wanted people's attention to go towards the face and the flower is on a face, I'll make the flower more detailed. Here I'll mask out the face with a layer mask so I can go back and make changes in future if I want to. Remember, there is no such thing as a perfect face. You will keep tweaking stuff till the end and even after you export it, but just know when to stop. Background element. Now this one is quite easy to make. You don't need to draw anything here. I just created a circle, duplicated it, resized it and placed two circles, one on top and one on the bottom using main circle as guide. Now merge, create a copy once again and rotate 90 degree holding shift. Once again duplicate, rotate, merge. Once you are done, you will get the shape, easy peasy. Delete the guide circle. Now change the outline to a dark gold color and double click on the layers to open up layer styles. Go on to bevel and emboss and you will see the shape has dimensions now, like they are reacting to a light source. Depth determines the Z depth of the object and size the structure width. Remember, this isn't physically accurate, but just for visual purpose, so be creative and experiment. Once you like what you have created, go to the pattern overlay and select a noise pattern and reduce the scale. This gives a sense of imperfections on metal, hereby giving it a slightly realistic look. I wanted to create a sense of depth with full control over it, so I created a new layer, just tapped it with a hard round brush and blurred it as per my liking. This gives me control over how intense I want the shadow fall off to be. Masking those rings with a group mask, so you can turn off the layer styles to get a proper view of the masking areas. Coloring. This is the most fun part. Put on some good music and disconnect yourself from this world and just start coloring like you used to in those coloring books. Good old days. You can either use a hard round brush and go straight coloring or just use a lasso tool and start selecting and filling up those areas. The choice is yours. Once you have filled in the color, lock in your layer transparency by clicking on the button. This locks the layer transparency so you won't paint outside this layer. Now select the lighter color and start painting. Once again, don't be precise, just fill the color. Select even more lighter color and fill inside. Now select the area. Make sure you do this or the effect will be applied globally rather than on the selection area basis. Selection limits the effect start and the end area. Go to filter, blur, radial blur, click on zoom and adjust the intensity as per you want. Press Ctrl Alt F to repeat the effect. Tweak and repeat. Here I am using smudge tool to smudge out some areas. I am doing the same thing with the flower. I just tried using the spin effect instead of radial blur in combination with the zoom effect. I tried the same approach with leaves, but it didn't end up working that well. So simply I just shaded them with light color and used smudge tool. Coloring the main subject. I want the subject to stand out, so I just filled up the layer and changed the color in hue and saturation. Tried different colors and later settled down to this desaturated yellow because I wanted to color her golden, and instead of using a regular brush to sample and paint, I chose to use dodge and burn. Using the dodge burn with the soft round brush, simply start by painting onto the areas that receive light. Start onto her face. Use the picture that you traced to help you see how the light fall off face. That way you will know where to put the shadows and where to put the highlights. Use the smudge tool to blend in the highlights and shadows together. Smudge tool is not only useful to blend in values but also adjust the structure. Create a new layer and start painting the lips. You can use hue saturation or lock the layer and pick a color and just pressing Alt Delete to fill in the foreground color. Release the transparency lock and use the smudge tool to smudge lips to gradually blend in with face. Now use the dodge and burn tool once again to give dimensions to these lips, so you can change the color easily by just adjusting the hue or saturation on the fly. And if you ever feel that something isn't right, don't be afraid to erase and just recreate. You will make mistakes and it is a part of this process. Time for the base. Fill in any color. As you know, you can change it whenever you want. Yeah, you can use the same coloring technique or just select and fill the layers you choose. Now duplicate and flip the wolf to the other side. Adjust accordingly. Change the color here. I just resampled a average color from the wolf. Now create a new layer, just sampling color from the image and paint as you want the hair to look. But you might ask that this is not how hair looks like. The wind filter. Simply just go onto filters, stylize, then wind. You can see how easily those colors get stretched randomly. To create fur, change the direction if you want and then press Ctrl Alt F to repeat the filter actions. Not even this looks fur. So we are gonna select and use the warp tools and warp those straight lines. Once you have achieved a desired result and want it on some other parts like I want, instead of once again coloring and messing up the structure, just select the area, press Shift plus F6. This will open up a smooth selection dialog. Smooth the selection, hold Alt and drag that selection. You will see a copy of the selection is formed. Place and warp it wherever you like. Now just select the part, press and hold Alt and move the selection to the other side. Time for a little bit of spice to the artwork. Finishing touches. Just create a new black layer and change its blending mode to linear dodge add. Use a soft round brush with low opacity and with white as a foreground, paint over the image. Paint in these areas where you want the highlights to appear. Her face, the flower, chest, the rings, etc. Now create a new layer, fill it with 50% gray, go to filters, noise, add noise, change the density as you want, and change the blending mode of the layer to overlay. This helps to tie the image together. And we are done. If you stayed till end and enjoyed watching the video, learned a thing or two, a like would help me know. Subscribe for more stuff like this. Until then, peace.